welcome back to Dracon's Plays Dishonored. Alright, so we got another book here. Alright, Volume 2, Final Passage. After more than a quarter century, I'm done with whaling, too broken to continue. Oh, okay. That's the same damn thing.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we've moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to stage
Volume 1.
location. Pendleton's voting block and my military connections. All we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us.
Processed whale wood.
Was more than capable of that, I have no doubt. Enbom. Is this off? Switch. Switch, where the hell?
It has been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Corvo in the old sewer. They have not returned, so I will hope that they succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Piero spent considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass-produce them, the Dunwall Navy would secure its place as the dominant force on the globe. But to back Corvo, can he actually break out of Coleridge? And if so, will he make his way here? I personally give him odds of 1 in 5. Well, we did it. Excerpt from a book on naval history. While each of the isles has some form of naval fleet, none is more envied than the of Bristol, with its long proud history of great ships and admirals who command them. Boys come of age in cities of Bristol, hoping to someday captain such ships, and family dynasties are made of those captains who track down infamous pirates or crush seditious uprisings, as during the Morley insurrection. In times of war and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Surlov himself now represent the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their kills up over the deck and begin their butchery and processing, even as the ship returns to Dunwall. Crews can be seen working on their latest whales as the ship moves slowly to the Ravenhaven River, there we go, continuing to dock with one of the most powerful warehouse companies, such as the Greaves Whaling House. Suspended in the rigging overhead and backlit by the setting sun, the silhouette of one of these creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises to its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital city. Excerpt from the Tales of a Young Whaler. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 1, or A Gaffer's Early Adventures. My sister Nina and I left Tivia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who had raised us since childhood, leaving behind our home city of Euro and the cold but beautiful white landscape we had always known. We boarded our ship for Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of it getting to the capital city and establishing a small import shop dedicated to Tyrian furs. Once I helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dream. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I'd ever done, and I saw it as a means to an end. Someday, I would captain my own crew, and eventually own a fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eyes, Nina kissed me farewell, and I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the Gaffer, I got to see the tracking and killing of a great beast up close. Nothing had ever fired up my spirit as the wind in pounding waves, racing after a wounded whale, being pulled by a skein of cables embedded in its thick flesh. I changed more in those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me, so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned. Toned and sinewy with muscle, weathered creases already wrinkling the corners of my eyes. But she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. Well done. Anything?
Attention, citizens of Dunwall.
Oh, that's nice. It actually gets more quiet when you...
The weeper count for the month of seas has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and
The
stay
month of
loyal.
rain. I'm just going through stealing everyone's crap.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which, Wallace, please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Huh. I love that I'm just going up and just stealing everything. It doesn't seem to matter. They do not care. Alright. Is this Corvo's chambers? Alright, I'm gonna have to come up here eventually anyways. Man, oh man. They just literally stuck me in the attic.
River traffic is forbidden from landing in the distillery district due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the flooded district for treatment and rehabilitation.
Really? So this is that door I found earlier. It leads right up to my chambers. Which people just freely walk through. I might add. Alright. Excerpt from a book on esoteric practices of the Abbey. Alright. I've read that before. Celebrations and holidays. At the end of the year, after the last day of the month of songs, we begin the Fag Feast. The new year has not started, and thus the time that flows is outside the calendar. A period of celebration and feasting begins, during which the people abandon the very practices that keep them whole and healthy over the year. Many leave their homes, euphoric with spirits or potent herbs. Some paint their faces or wear masks to conceal themselves as they pursue their passions without reservation. When the right cosmological signs are observed and it is time for the calendar to begin anew, the High Overseer calls for the Hymn of Atonement and the Fane Feast begins. Families return to their homes, wives to their husbands, enemies put down their weapons, and fires are extinguished. No complaint is given for those who have wronged others, deviated from ancient codes, or disregarded oaths. For this time during the astrological alignment does not exist and is not recorded. The following day starts the new year, marked on the first day of the month of Earth, as has always been. Okay. Really? Oh, what the heck's the name of that movie? There's like 3 of them now. Ah, whatever. But that's insane. They just suspend all laws, do whatever the heck you want for these days. It's not a great practice. Excerpt from a work of fiction, early chapters. Alright. Alright, this is a new one. My stomach twisted as the engines of the odd vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orchelda, 3rd prefect of the Academy of the Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savoring each of the small craft's emulations. Orchelda pulled a lever, and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell of burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself forward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough, as if Knowing my thoughts, Overseer Bryn looked at me and smiled. Recite some of the litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the turpitude of the void on our way to the outer spheres. Well done. Why is there a door to nothing? Yeah, that seems like a bad idea. Alright. I think I've explored almost all of it now. Alright. Processed whale oil. Let me guess, this is that door? Oh, Portside District key needed. Huh. Oh, that's not even a door. Okay. Alright. I have over 1,000 coins. Nice. Pub Master room key.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district.
Alright, I guess it's time to go and check out Piero. Or not. Excerpt from the book of the far continent, Pandicia. At the Academy of Natural Philosophy, they speak of the Pandicia continent as a place of wonder, where all life has intertwined and blossomed across eons, producing a vibrant ecology unrivaled in the civilized world. The overseers from the Abbey of the Everman, by contrast, talk of horror and heresies, of cults of submen engaged in brutal and perverse rituals. The few who have traveled to the far continent and come back to the Isles, those who have actually touched the soil there, have returned with notes that describe vast deserts, deep jungles, and outlandish creatures that defied belief. Once in a generation, a great effort is mounted to build a colony there, in hopes that this someday growing into a port city to rival Dunwall itself. But to date, these attempts have ended in madness and failure. Interesting. Teeth map. a second solution. From prominent national philosopher by Piero Joffelin. It is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Solov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy. Name I did not choose, if you must know the truth. The public speaks its usual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Solov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting the remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency that we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now having made its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it with the blood of those so afflicted, it is nearly perfect, elegant in fact. And while it's true that Piero's remedy and Solov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood, which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. It is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to the contest. For you see, Solov's elixir, which, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is a caress goo best suited for livestock. The subtle secret variants in the key ingredients must make up Piero's remedy, ensure that it works on the higher functions that separate mankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Renhaven River.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear, all custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin.
Okay.
No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. Oil's unstable.
Alright.
When it explodes, there is a terrible mess.
Empty. Gotcha. Piero. No, I will not sign off on these purchases. A bag of powder crystals? Tyvian ore? What's wrong with the materials in crystal? Carsarpal feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy everything you needed was paid for by tariff and handed out willy-nilly. But this is my bar. What's left of it? Or what's left of it. And we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else. So you got to slow down. Well, I'm footing the bill. I'm not going to approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need these things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one will go missing any of the old crop you seem to need. Odd crop, not old. Admiral Hadlock. Grindstone. Bite. Excerpt from a recent book telling Solov's machines. One of the advantages of Solov's technology is that they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks that possess whale oil as they use as fuel. While a tank is exhausted, another one can be plugged into place with ease, and the process is simple enough that any common workman or even the lower guardsmen of the city watch can handle the task. This applies to the arc, pylon, and wall of light security systems, as well as the power carriages used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of Solov's designs is the validity of the tanks themselves. Few incidents have occurred, resulting in damage to property or bodily harm whenever one of these tanks has exploded. Workshop key needed. Noted.
The dispenser upstairs will provide you with a fresh tank of whale oil. They're heavy, but you are no doubt strong enough to carry one back down here if you would.
Yeah. failed experiments. Excerpt from a series of lectures on natural philosophy by Piero Josephine. Of course, I've attempted to improve upon Solov's designs, of course, and why not? After all, it is likely that his thinking was influenced in some small way by our time together at the Academy. We are all part of a community striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to a fruitful line of consideration by, how does one say, our intellectual subordinates. Solov is no exception to this, despite the glamour of genius he has cast over the aristocracy. Whatever. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it. Behind my back, in your social clubs, in the very chambers of the Academy itself. Great ambition requires risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday you will not. Your children will likely see it as commonly as you see the electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at Solov's arc pylon or wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they're nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. Dead counter responsibilities. Manual on a new city watch procedures. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the growing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grades. In most matters of edict or curfew enforcement, these officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have command in situations relating to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms called weepers in common parlance. Starting in the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test, and if accepted, for the 2-week training tour, pay will be administered in coin and rations of elixir at 1 1/2 normal pay grade. Whale dissection. Notes of a natural philosopher aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variance in feel relating to the body. There we go. That works. On the second leg of the trip east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female some 42 feet in length. I estimated she weighed 35 tons, and the ship set low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and a badgeon running along the upper jaw. Through this brim-like structure, I assumed she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. So like plankton. Whale cross. Holy crap, there are so many turtles! Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep, and once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck. They lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattest pieces while it still lives. Sheesh. Surlov no longer has the upper hand with regards to the supply of royal oil. Good Admiral has paid for the installation of my own systems, which will enable my work to continue in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty container is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once the refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in the handling of the fuel tanks. They are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Grease Oil Company has done something correct for once.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life function.
pressure and the cold are too much to endure. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substance is developed. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities, subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
That doesn't sound great.
That one is empty. A new tank.
Yeah, yeah. Empty tank dispenser. Oh, I see how that works.
Perfect. Now plug it in.
Easy peasy.
Just get it. Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Center lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you.
Huh.
Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables, and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need.
Okay.
Tell me what I can make for you.
Let's have a look. Okay. So we're able to purchase a bunch of bolts. Grenade. Rewire tool. Allows you to rewire circuitry and turn security systems to your advantage. Consumed upon use. I see. Upgrades. That's better. Because upgrades are permanent additions. Crossbow accuracy, range, reload. Combat sleep dart. Immediate even in combat. That's pretty damn good. Huh. More effective when locking blades. A mechanic I have not come across yet. Increase radiance for your spring razor trap. My what now? Allows pistol upgrades and adds a short spread damage. Unlocks pistol accuracy, magazine, and reload. Mask optics. Magnifier view. Okay, that's useful. Bullet capacity. Unlocks bullet capacity 2. So I will be able to carry 20 bullets. I assume I can carry 10 right now. Bullet capacity bumps it up to 20. Grenade capacity, spring rates. Bone charm. Allows one additional bone charm to be active. For a total of 4. So I assume I have 3 then? I don't even know what bone charms are. Oh, this is the thing. Okay, I can hold 5 of those. 10 bullets. Yeah. Interesting.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can. Very well. You know best. Let me know if you need anything more.
Piero can craft and upgrade gear with money you collect. Bring collected blueprints to Piero to allow you to unlock new upgrades to buy. Services can be accessed by talking to Piero at any time. There's some sort of secondary upgrade system there.
My break with the Academy was explosive, for lack of a better word. I had to rebuild from scratch, but so much the better. I was sick of using tools made by lesser men.
Huh. Alright.
Yes, very much so, but no need to fear. He is here to work with our masters.
People say he killed the Empress.
Of course he did. People are foolish and believe whatever they're told.
Okay. If the Admiral trusts him, then so will I.
They're talking about me. Okay, I see. That's weird. Blood from the eyes? Okay. Nice, no fall damage.
Tell me what I can make for you.
Alright. Alright, so right now I'm interested in upgrades then. I have 1,300. The ability to zoom. Yes, please. Grenade capacity, so that maxes that, that maxes that. Right now, capacity is not a problem. So I'm gonna hold off, I think. Crossbow accuracy, sure. That's a good all-around upgrade. Crossbow range. Crossbow reload. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's good for now.
You must have known Sokolov at course.
Sokolov.
Clever, yes, but fundamentally a second-rate mind.
Odd. Alright. Weird. Huh. Alright. Yeah, I'll sleep. Somewhere else? Alright. No description for this. That's no longer a door.